Welcome to Alphanumeric, the fiction and poetry podcast featuring pieces selected from the award-winning Non-Binary Review. Today, Lizard Brain by Chris Campo. Carlin knows he's a goner the second he drops his slush puppy. Lemon lime and an honest mistake. One sip deep, it erupts at his feet in a syrupy green geyser, showering the back of the driver's seat. His mind defaults to excuse mode. The cup was too slick. You're driving too fast. The words poised on his lime-streaked tongue. But his mother burns excuses to ash, evaporates them with a glance, and already he could feel her cinder-gray eyes roasting him in the rearview. Is that what I think it is? Her voice is steam, barely audible, like a hiss beneath her breath. Slithery, Carlin thinks, revolted by the word's intrusion. Sweat pools in his pits. He reaches for the window, but the Corolla's already slowing, eating gravel as his mother swerves onto the highway's shoulder. She jerks to a stop. Out! Carlin blubbers a weak attempt at protest. Out! She snaps. She gets out herself and opens the back door, blocking the sky with her muscular frame. Carlin doesn't argue. He can tell by her flaring nostrils, the blood darkening her cheeks to a voracious maroon, that he's crossed a line. Let it run its course, Car. Anything else, and you're just jabbing the dragon. Parting advice from Perry an hour ago, before he fled the circus to backpack in Peru. His eyes were tender, yet steeped in a desperate gravity. 9 years younger, Carlin always took his brother's words seriously. But this time, Perry didn't look away, lifting his eyebrows as if to say, Capiche? It wasn't the first time Perry had given him the look. There at the terminal, their mother out of earshot in one of the duty-free shops. There was the time Carlin burned a pot of oatmeal, or missed the mark in the bathroom, or failed to clean up his Lego before she came home from work. And hadn't he known better? Hadn't she been working overtime? She snapped her head at him in a reflexive sort of way, as if a dusting of Lego on the living room carpet was as savage as that Spanish tomato-throwing festival Carlin had read about in his Ripley's Believe It or Not book. Recognizing her rage, Perry tapped him on the shoulder. Stay in your room, he said, and Carlin did. Here, now, Carlin wants to hate his brother for leaving home, for leaving him, but he can't blame him. Everything's temporary, he mutters beneath his breath, warmed by his new mantra. The feeling doesn't last. There's something Carlin thinks he sees as his mother takes in the mess firsthand, the slush puppy seeping into the fabric of her new car, the algae-colored flood at his feet. A pattern like chainmail pimples up across her face. A flash, and then it's gone, like a slip in her composure. Carlin's nerves light up from his toes to his scalp, a million insects scuttling across his skin. Suddenly, he's at his 10th birthday party last month at Big Brad's Reptile Zoo, a similar pattern etched across a 9-foot Komodo. She clears her throat. I'm not asking, she says, and her tone confirms it. Carlin stands beside the car, maybe the only car out here, he thinks, all too aware of how rural the road home is. The mid-September wind, always cooler come twilight, pulls goosebumps from his arms. His sweat starts to chill. He doesn't see her face as she pulls back onto the asphalt, just the Corolla's taillights burning down the highway. But then they disappear too, where the gravel meets the ditch. He shuts his eyes and thinks. How long before she circles back, tears streaking her cheeks? How long before the cycle reboots? The pampering and pancakes for dinner, kisses on the crown of his head. How long will it last now? How long before the venom returns? A foghorn chills him out of his skin. Carlin bolts for the ditch, but the gust in the 18-wheeler's wake knocks him off balance. Gravel bites his knees. A familiar wave swells behind his eyes. Under early starlight, he lets the tears do their thing. The colds worked him over, handcuffed his focus on calming his chattering teeth. Still, when the gravel stirs behind him, he doesn't run to meet the car. He takes in the landscape one more time. The pothole-ridden road is a red carpet for roadkill. The fields on either side are hostile, no home for a boy, yet Carlin considers them all the same. Like always, his fingers find the handle. The heat's blaring inside the car, but it brings no relief. Her knuckles are white on the steering wheel. Her cuticles are tinged green. The mess is gone, but still haunts the interior, a stain on the back of her seat, the tangy sweet smell of slush puppy lingering like cheap air freshener. Carlin waits for his mother to speak, to take them home, but there's no apology, no tears. When she finally does pull the car back onto the road, another memory from Big Brad's sneaks up on him like a beast on its prey. "This here fella's lucky to be alive," the zookeeper said, his hand lovingly clamped over the baby Komodo's jaws. "Usually only a 5 or 6% chance a mama's going to eat a hatchling, and usually due to stress. This guy's mama ate half her pot. Must have been some bratty kids." He remembers the handler's laugh at the punchline, the half grins on his friends' faces. He remembers how it felt, the tiny lizard skin, and how, unlike his friends who kept prodding its gritty armor, he recoiled, fear wading into his stomach. Carlin meets his mother's gaze in the rear view and mouths his brother's name. Her irises shimmer a pearlescent green, pupils constricting to vertical slits, as a milky membrane slips across each eye. Slow and deliberate, she locks the doors. This has been Lizard Brain by Chris Campo, read for you by Lee Quintana. Our music was MMM Ominous by Nyan Official, provided by Pixabay.com. Alphanumeric is a production of Zoetic Press and is mixed and mastered by our fabulous production team, Madison Ellingsworth and Lee Quintana. Have you gotten your copy of Non-Binary Review, issue number 39, Mistaken Identity yet? Hint, there's a right answer to this question. If you gave the wrong answer, which is no, you can fix that at zoeticpress.com. And you can find out all the latest news by following Zoetic Press on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and YouTube. If you love us as much as we love you, please support us by giving us a rating and leaving us a swell review on whatever podcast app you favor. We'd appreciate it more than lizards love live prey. You should also subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Non-Binary Review, because humans are hardwired to tell stories.